Hello, everybody. As always, this is Joe. Welcome back to my podcast. Today is episode 3, which is very exciting. 3 episodes of this podcast so far. That's really cool. Clearly, I've managed to actually stick with something that I want to achieve in my life, which is always a good thing. That's something I struggle with quite a lot, is actually accomplishing things that I set out to do. Maybe I'm just not a very motivated person. I'd like to be motivated, is the thing. I'm not, against motivation. I have a lot of ambition and a lot of things that I want to achieve, but motivation is something I struggle to find quite a bit. Many times in my life, I've had videos almost completely planned out, and then they just don't get made. And I don't know why. There's just something, maybe it has to do with my, struggle with depression. Maybe it's, connected to a mental illness. Maybe I'm just weak-minded, which is, well, very, very, very real possibility. But I struggle with motivation quite a bit. So the fact that I'm 3 episodes into this is quite nice. I enjoy that a lot. Thank you for clicking on this. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Again, this is the 3rd episode, which is really nice, especially since the last one, I rambled on for 15 minutes about my own funeral and death in general, which I'm genuinely surprised I managed to get so much out of it, but hey, if it works. I've actually got actual things written down for this podcast, so look at me already being prepared. I say prepared lightly, though, because I have an hour and 15 minutes before I have to be at work. I just got home. I went to dinner with some of my friends. We went to Applebee's. This podcast is not sponsored by Applebee's, but I wish it was. We had planned to go to dinner tonight. I found out yesterday, and I agreed. I wanted to record this sooner, but I ate an entire bag of goldfish and then took a nap by accident. So that's just kind of how my day went. There's really not much I could do otherwise. I was asleep. So I'm recording this now. Dinner was good, by the way, if you were wondering. I got chicken strips, which is not a new concept to somebody who knows me. They were good, though. Very good. Very short-staffed, I'm assuming, tonight, though, because they kind of took a long time to get food. Anyways, recently, if you're listening to this on Anchor and not YouTube, I have a YouTube channel. And recently, I just hit 50 subscribers, which is really exciting. I have been running my current channel for about a year, and I'm just over the moon with the growth that I made. I mean, I know tons of channels get 100,000 subs a month. I'm just happy with the slow growth of 50 for mine. The fact that people click on my things and watch them and enjoy them, hopefully, I get very excited about. Back when I got 20 subscribers, I made a short little 20 subscriber special. It was a joke, where I asked all my friends how they felt about me getting to 20 subscribers. It was scripted. I recruited a bunch of my friends who were in videos at that time, and it was a really fun video. It got a lot of views for my channel. It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot, but I had this idea that for this stupid little miniature video, oh my god. Excuse that cough. I can't cut that out. Anyways, I had this stupid idea for this little video where I basically just take the raw clip of the finished 20 subscribers video, and just re-editing it, so every time somebody said the word 20, it would just have, a Google Translate voice going 50, and, just basically make a 50 subscriber special out of my 21. I'm not going to post it on my YouTube channel. I recently made a Facebook page for my channel, just so I just don't dilute my normal personal Facebook page with nothing but hey guys, check out this YouTube video I made. I realized that I wasn't sharing anything but my own videos, so I cut back on that and made a video, or made a Facebook page, mind you. So I was thinking about making that video and putting it on there, which is a very real possibility. Maybe make a little special video for people who follow the Facebook page. I linked it on my YouTube channel, so now people who watch my videos can actually find it, if Facebook is their social media of choice that they follow people on. But yeah, I'm very excited about 50 subscribers. It's very cool. Chris is sitting at 116. well deserved. His quality of content is much higher than mine. I'm recording this on my cell phone, so there's only so much you can do. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with my life. Speaking of my life, though, I have done some digging. A lot of digging recently, in fact. I don't know why, but I think it all started after the last podcast where I was talking about my own death. And I was sitting down and I was thinking about myself, and I was like, I'm my dad's only kid. I'm my dad's only male son. Well, actually, no, I'm not my dad's only kid, but I'm my father's only male son. So I was thinking about the fact that my family's not very big, at least the family that I know about. It's not a very large family. And I was thinking that, if I don't procreate, I just end my family bloodline. Like, my branch of the tree just ends. And that's up to me. Which, I don't know if I feel pressured or not, but thinking that is all in my hands from this point out, kind of weird. So, thinking about genealogy and continuing the family name, I started doing research into my family tree, and it was very tough at first. I was using this really unintuitive website that found vague historical records, and then I just kind of bit the bullet, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna get that 14-day free trial for Ancestry.com, and that was actually a good decision in my part. I found a lot of information. Fun fact, the most fun fact that I've learned out of all of my digging is the fact that, as far as I know, if the records are correct, my great-grandfather, so my dad's dad's dad, was born on my birthday 99 years before me. So I was born in 97. He was born in 1898. If he had been born 1 year sooner, I would have been exactly 100 years apart from my great-grandpa, which is crazy. That's crazy. I highly doubt he ever sat down and thought, you know what? In a few generations, some random kid that came from the extension of my loins is gonna have the same birthday as me. Which I have somebody else to struggle with January being a shitty month for birthdays. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but birthdays in January suck. Well, they do when you're a kid, because I live in Illinois, so there's usually snow on the ground in January, and that really leaves you with a strong lack of possibility for fun birthday parties. When I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends. I had a lot of school friends, as people do in elementary school, but I didn't have a lot of friends, like, in my neighborhood, so whenever I would want to have a birthday party, I'd naturally want to invite my school friends, but the problem with that is I don't think I ever liked the concept of just having a birthday party at my house. I always wanted to do something special for my birthday. One time, my mom threw me a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, and I invited most of my class. One person showed up. That's actually kind of sad when I think about it. Never really noticed that, but hey, at least one person showed up. Which I don't get why only one person showed up. If somebody right now, if one of my 20-year-old and older friends invited me to Chuck E. Cheese on their dime, I would go now. Let alone an elementary school student. Which, now that I think about it, maybe they did not come to my birthday party, not because they didn't want to, but probably because their parents didn't have time or didn't care enough to bring them. Because if I was in elementary school and I got invited to a birthday party, even if I didn't like the kid, and they were paying for me to have a good time at Chuck E. Cheese, you'd be damned if I didn't go. But speaking of my family history, I did a lot of digging because a lot of my family is from the South. My mom was born in the South, and my dad was raised in the South. So the South is a lot of what I've known growing up. I've always grown up in Illinois, but all of my vacations and family trips have been to the South. And as I've gotten older, I've realized that the South, in the beginning of this country, wasn't always the best place for certain people. Mostly minorities, mostly being African American slaves. So I've always kind of had this thought in the back of my head that, man, I really, and I'm Caucasian, so the odds are against me here. But I've always sat down and thought, you know what, I really, really hope that I don't come from, like, a family of slave owners, because that would really suck. Like, I know, like, there's nothing I can do, and I'm not guilty for, like, the sins of my ancestors, but just thinking that at some point my family possibly could have made money off of the selling and owning of people kind of makes me sad. So I did as much digging as I humanly could. Now, mind you, I could not find much information on my family past 1815. But hey, that's enough information. And as far as I know, because a lot of the early census records that I saw, you had to mark down if you owned slaves. As far as I know, my family comes from regions that weren't primarily very slave-oriented. Some of my family comes from Oklahoma. Some of it comes from Michigan. States that I didn't even know I had connections to. California. Not very slave-heavy places. As far as I know, my distant relatives did not own slaves, and I cross my fingers and hope that's the case. Because if they didn't, I'll feel a slight sense of pride. Although, maybe my pride is misguided. Maybe they didn't own slaves just because they couldn't afford slaves. I'd like to think that they didn't own slaves for moral reasons, but... Anyways, talking about slaves, animals are kind of like slaves. They're something you own, even though they're like a living thing. I have 3 dogs. I don't live with them anymore. They live at my parents' house, but I have 3 dogs. One of them is a husky. Her name is Brat. I've got a poodle named Sissy, and I've got a, I don't even know how to describe her. She's a weird Chihuahua Greyhound mutt mix kind of thing. Her name is Dobby. I renamed her that. That wasn't her name when we got her, but I renamed her that because of her stupid ears. So she reminds me of a certain deceased house elf from a beloved children's franchise. But I have 3 dogs, and I love dogs. I'm more of a dogs person than I am a cats person. I've had cats too, and I've loved them, but I'm always more of a dog person. But that aside, animals are weird. Or pets are weird, I guess I should say, when you think about it, because they're kind of like slaves. I mean, slaves had, like, not a purpose, but they, like, served a purpose. Like, you forced them into labor. Animals just kind of live there. If anything, we're kind of slaves to them, because we treat them like royalty, or at least I know a lot of people who treat their animals like royalty. For example, my dog Sissy, she's a poodle. Very small one, not a full-size poodle. She's like a miniature toy poodle. My dad keeps her on the table in this little pregnancy pillow. That's where she sleeps during the day when he's home. She eats people food. For all intents and purposes, if my dad was a king of a country, even me being his firstborn, well, not firstborn, but firstborn son, I guarantee you he would still pass on the kingdom to her. That dog will probably get my inheritance, if there is any. He loves that dog more than life itself. But the reason I'm talking about pets is I like dogs a lot, and I think most people on the internet like dogs a lot. So a few years back, me and a couple of my coworkers, we had this trip. We went to this local apple orchard. There are 2 apple orchards, or 2 main apple orchards, I should say, in the vicinity of where I live, and they're on complete opposite sides of each other in direction-wise. So I've always gone to the smaller one on the west side of town, and the one on the east side is far bigger. Now, it's actually not even in our town. It's like a maybe 20-minute drive, but it's bigger, it's nicer, and it's really nice. It's cool. It has all the same things the other one does, like apple cider donuts and apple cider and whatnot. It's just larger and more touristy kind of. They have this really nice niche area where People can take couple pictures or just pictures in general. They've got a sign with the apple orchard's name on it. It's really cute, really nice. So a couple years ago, me and a couple of my coworkers went. Now, I'd never been there. I've always gone to the smaller one. So this was the first time I've actually been there, and I was really excited. I had high hopes for this place that had been hyped up to me for a very long time. Now, it was a very nice day, weather-wise. It was like around October. It was around this time. Global warming wasn't as bad at that point, even being only a few years ago. And it was cool. It was jacket weather, which is my favorite weather. So it was a very nice day. It was very temperate. It was good. I was having a great time. And the best thing about this apple orchard, I'd come to find out, is there's a house where the family that owns the apple orchard lives, and they just let their dog roam around. Just the premises. There's this beautiful golden retriever. His name is Ollie. Great dog. They have little plush versions of him inside. It's a great dog. I would say it's probably in my top 5 favorite dogs I've ever met in my life. And that includes dogs I've owned. And I've owned 4. So I've got very high expectations for this dog. Now, it was a great day. Got to pet the dog. Went through a little maze. It was a good day. So the other day, before I went to work, I wanted to vlog. And I wanted to vlog the apple orchard because I haven't vlogged that apple orchard this season. I went to another one, the smaller one that I went to as a kid with my friend Ashley about a month ago, I want to say, and I vlogged that. So I wanted to vlog the big one. I wanted to go have a good time, get myself some apple cider and some donuts, and just have a good all-around time, good time before work, because I worked at 2 o'clock that day. And so I picked up Noah. I messaged him the night before. I was like, hey, me, you, apple orchard, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., be ready. He's like, okay, bet. So I go pick him up around 9:30 because I accidentally slept in, and we make our way there. He's never been there, and like I said, I've only been there one time prior, so I was really hyping up. I'm like, dude, it's good. Have you ever had an apple cider donut? Yeah, my mom's brought some home before. Oh, they're good, right? Yeah. Had, pleasantries about how much we love apple cider donuts. So I was hyping up the donuts. I was hyping up the fact that they had a little petting area. They have a calf and some turkeys. But most importantly, I hyped up the fact that there was this great golden retriever. I was like, dude, there's this dog. Phenomenal. Great dog. Like, top 5 dog. It's good. So he had his expectations high. I had my expectations high. It was go time. So we got there, and we were one of the very first people there because the apple orchard opened at 9 a.m. I don't know why on earth I wanted to get there so early, because it was very much empty. People filed in by the time that we left, but it was empty when we got there. So we went up to the house where the dog's usually stationed, and it was cold. It was chilly. It was more cold than the last time I went. So I was like, you know what? The dog's probably inside. It's early. We'll come back after we go through the rest of the apple orchard and explore. So we go inside. We're looking at all of the food that they're selling, all the snacks and candies that they've homemade and whatnot. A lot of the sauces that they made and jams and salsas. They have like little tortilla chips that you can taste test things. So every time I found a little tiny tortilla chip, I took one and taste tested it instead of the sauces, just because I'm picky and I knew I wouldn't like them. We smelt some lovely candles. Great scents. There was a sign that said farm life, nowhere better than the farm, which was really weird because where else in the world is farm life other than a farm? It's like, where farm life is the best? Central Park. You know where farm life is the best? In the middle of Manhattan. In the middle of Washington, D.C. Farm life. Absolute A1 experience. Not on a farm. No, not on a farm. Why would farm life be there? So that sign kind of triggered me. So after we were in there, we went down to the cellar area where they sell the donuts and the cider. I had 3 donuts, he had 1, I had a glass of cider. It was great, my tummy was full, it was warm, I was having a great time. So we go outside, we look at the animals in the petting zoo, and we're pretty much almost done with what there is to do there. I mean, there is a lot more fun to be had at the apple orchard, but it's mostly derived towards kids, and unfortunately, we are not kids anymore. If we were kids, we wouldn't have gotten to the apple orchard anyways, because neither of us would be able to legally drive. So, we're sort of basically towards the end of our experience at the apple orchard for the morning. And Noah was like, hey, you promised me dogs. So I'm like, okay, let's go, let me go see if the dog is outside. So we go up to where Ollie, I don't know if I've mentioned the dog's name up to this point, but his name is Ollie. So we go up to where Ollie usually resides, in the driveway of this house, and we still don't see him. And I'm really bummed out. The vlog I was trying to record wasn't going very well. I just wasn't feeling it. Like, the mental of me trying to make it in my head wasn't working. And I had some clips, but I didn't have a finish. So we go up to where Ollie was, and we could not find him anywhere. And at that point, I was just kind of like, you know what, maybe it's cold. Maybe it's just because it's cold. That sucks. We'll come back another day. I'm sorry I let you down. I'm sorry the dog wasn't around. We can come back, and I'll make sure that you see the dog at another time. Well, just then I looked over, and there was a sign pitched into the ground around where Ollie usually hangs out. So I walked over, and it was a picture of Ollie. I was like, oh, cool, that's nice. They have, like, this informational thing about Ollie. They probably have his age and his, like, breed and, like a sign for kids or whatever. So I walked over, and I looked at the thing. I was like, see, this is what the dog looks like, and it has his name and a picture. And then a paragraph is right next to the picture, so I start reading it, and it broke my heart. Because I then found out the reason that we could not see Ollie was because, unfortunately, he'd passed away back in September of cancer. I was so distraught. I was absolutely I was stricken with grief. I teared up. I canceled my entire vlog, first of all, because I just was not feeling it after finding out that one of my favorite dogs in the world that I've had very little interaction with had passed away. I didn't even... Okay, so this next bit is going to make me sound like a complete and utter idiot. I didn't know dogs could get cancer. I mean, now that I think about it, of course they can. Why wouldn't they? I was distraught. Ollie was one of the best dogs I've ever encountered in my entire life. He was too good for this world. And now he's gone. I was sad. I'm still sad thinking about it. And now I've gotten myself all sad. I have to be at work soon. This is a not fun way to end this podcast, but it's where I'm going to end it. I'm going to go ahead and end it while I'm ahead with my depression. I hope you guys enjoyed my sadness. Go ahead and, if you have a drink near you, take a drink, and then pour one out for Ollie. He deserves it. I wish I had a picture that I could just put on the screen, for the video version of this, where you could see what this was the best dog. Well, anyways, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. Come back next week. Hopefully, I'll have another one of these. I've done 3 of them now. I might as well continue doing them at this point. And maybe it will be a little less last minute. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe, like while you're at it. This is going in a podcast, this is going in a folder full of podcasts, so if you missed the last 2, you can go check up on those. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because why not give me 51 subscribers? Give me a reason why you shouldn't. You don't enjoy my content? Okay, that's fair. Do it anyways, for pity. Alright. Catch you guys next time.